Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so kindly for joining us. Welcome to Green Apple Books on the Park. I would love to direct your attention now to the track that we have playing that was selected specifically by our authors. Which you probably won't recognize because that's not the intention. The intention is that it is a 60s pop rock song about none other than Golden Gate Park. I will do that. Thank you. It is a 60s pop rock song about none other than Golden Gate Park, which is the reason we are here celebrating this evening. Can we give a hand for, I don't know, Golden Gate Park? Wonderful. Thank you so kindly. So I'm going to let that play out. It'll just be a moment, as most 60s pop rock songs, about 2.5 minutes long, so that'll be done in a jiffy. Everyone, welcome. Thank you so kindly for joining us. My name is Car Johnson. I'm the event coordinator for Green Apple Books here in San Francisco. And tonight it is my total pleasure to welcome Marta Lindsey as we celebrate her book, Discovering Golden Gate Park, a Locals Guide. Let's keep it going for Marta Lindsey. But that's not all. Marta is joined tonight by contributor and our friend Nancy Botkin. Let's give a hand for Nancy as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us in person here and also online. Hello, online audience. I'm waving to a camera if you can't see. Hey, sorry, one moment. Hey, Jeff, if you want to handle that thing, that would be great. You can just close the window. Okay, thank you. Cool. And aside to my colleague, insider shop talk, you know how it goes. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. This is a packed house. I'm so glad you're all here celebrating these two fabulous people. We open each of our events here at Green Apple with a land acknowledgement, which we always do, but is particularly pertinent this evening given the subject of the book. We are operating on unceded Ramaytush Ohlone land. We think that acknowledgement requires action, and so we encourage you to donate either your time or monetary means to an Indigenous organization each time you hear a land acknowledgement. We have some information at the back desk about the Ramaytush Ohlone Land Trust. That is but one way to connect to how to figure out how to participate in this project of rematriation. That is where we usually direct people to, but there are plenty of other ways. I have very brief business before I let our authors come out and take over. Now's a good time to silence your cell phones if you have not already. Please don't take a call in the middle of the event. While you're sitting here in the event space, you're welcome to go outside. That is not my business. You can take a call outside as much as you want. All of that being said, please just silence your ringer. And I am told that photo taking is not only okay, but encouraged. So please do take photos of our authors. Yay, yay, yay. The caveat being no bad photos. You are not allowed to take bad photos of our authors. You are especially not allowed to take bad photos and put them on the internet. So keep that in mind. I have a very big thank you that is bigger than the size of this room. Thank you to everyone who pre-ordered their copy of Discovering Golden Gate Park through Green Apple. Thank you, yay, thank you. We appreciate it. If you are familiar with pre-ordering, and even if you're not, it is extremely helpful to authors to have those numbers prior to a book's release, so they can show their publisher, like, look, all these people like me and want to read my book, and it's not even out in the world yet. And it's especially important to us as an independent bookstore in the most beautiful city in the world. We get to stay here and operate and do that. So thank you so much for your support. We anticipated a fair number of pre-orders, but you all really outdid yourselves, so thank you so much. We are not prepared for the number that we had, but we're working on it. And the best part is that, one, we're super grateful, so thank you for supporting Green Apple. And the best part is that it's not done yet. Marta is going to be signing copies for anyone who wishes throughout the month of March. So if for whatever reason you have a friend and or you yourself want an additional copy, etc., happy to sign any and all through the month of March. So we will get that to you as soon as possible. If you pre-ordered a book from us to be picked up here at 9th Avenue, it is behind the counter for you now. Let's see. We're happy to tell you, too, that you can order additional copies should we sell out of our event stock this evening. You can also order more copies through our website or at the register, and Marta will gladly sign them at a later time. Okay, you've heard enough from me. But how about just a little bit more, because I have biographical information about our authors that I would love to tell you. I will keep it brief. I'm happy to introduce the two people who are joining us tonight. I'm very excited. First, Nancy Botkin started mapping her world when she was 7 years old, alongside her grandfather, a surveyor, and went on to study geography in college. She's been designing and leading walking and biking tours in San Francisco for more than 2 decades. She also teaches classes on the forgotten art of map folding. So if you see any poorly folded maps, that was my doing. It was not Nancy's. So keep that in mind. Botkin lives near the Panhandle and visits the park nearly every day. She is a contributor to Discovering Golden Gate Park. Let's give one more hand for Nancy Botkin. And last but most certainly not least, Marta Lindsey is a writer, a mom, and a nonprofit communications professional. She is currently communications director for Walk San Francisco and has also worked in the Bay Area with the San Francisco Bike Coalition and Transform, which is focused on climate change, social justice, and transportation issues. She is the author of the best-selling children's book, Golden Gate Park, an A to Z adventure, illustrated by Michael Wirtz. And her latest book, Discovering Golden Gate Park, is the reason we are here tonight. Let's give one more hand for Marta Lindsey.
I am so delighted to be here. So is Nancy. We're so excited.
We were backstage, like
we're just
jumping
like,
up and down. Yeah.
We keep doing this. I want to first give a shout out to Car and Green Apple Books. Car is awesome and has just made this whole experience so all the good feels. I love Green Apple Books. It's my bookstore. I think we probably all have our bookstore, right? This has been mine for a long time because we lived in the neighborhood for so long. But I also it's just got the vibes, and maybe it's the spirit of La Video. Anybody? So I also have been thinking about bookstores, because I think the bookstores in America right now, all our indie bookstores, are the resistance. And they are selling and bringing people together and talking and bringing community together in this way that we need so much right now. So how about those independent booksellers? Thanks for everyone squeezing in back there and up on the stairs. And if you get thirsty, there is wine and sparkling water. So just make it happen. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be here without a lot of awesome people. And so I'm looking immediately at my husband, Drew, and my daughter, Elise, and my daughter, Helena, with the purple hair. Only been purple for 48 hours, so we're getting used to it still. It's awesome. But there's a lot of people here who have helped this book. And raise your hand if you helped test the walks in the book. Yeah. So there won't be mistakes thanks to these people. We also just ideas, inspiration. There's just, this was definitely represents more than our brains, so many other people's brains. And I'm looking at really encouraging friends like Jenny and Zach and Jenny and Meredith, who like we would be in the park and be like, sorry, I got to take some photos. Can I borrow your phone? My phone's full. This is a really good picture. So people have just been kind of like here and encouraging along the way. And who here loves Golden Gate Park? It's the best. It's the best. It's been such a, I mean, what a thing to write a book about. It's just so positive and so fascinating. And I just loved geeking out in this way and then finding what I hope are the best nuggets to share with you. And Karen, where are you? Karen, come here. Bring your copy of the book. So Karen ordered from a different independent bookstore, Booksmith, and apparently they let you get the book early. So Karen, hold up your book for everyone. And then you have to tell them what you told me.
Well, I thought I knew everything there was to know about Golden Gate Park, so I thought, well, okay, I'll read Marta's book, but I know it all. And actually, I learned all kinds of really cool little nuggets of stories and information, and so I just started putting Post-its in. So I've just got a lot of walking in Golden Gate Park left to do.
Best commercial ever. This is my dream because honestly, I've been so stressed about the locals. I'm like, the tourists, they're gonna like the book. That's great, whatever. But I was like, but it's the locals that I have to prove myself to, and for them to be like, whoa, I didn't know those things about the park. So if you feel that way after you read the book, please let me know. It will make me feel very good. Nancy Botkin is sitting next to me. So when I was deciding whether or not to write this book, on top of, you know, a job and a family and life and all of the things, and I was like, I don't know. And I like had a piece of paper and I wrote down like my criteria for being able to do the book. And one of them, I was like, you know, Nancy Botkin, she's awesome. I know her through Walk San Francisco. We become friends. She created Peak to Peak, which is one of Walk SF's longtime signature walks. She's just an encyclopedia of the city. And I also know she loves the park. Anyway, I was like, I wonder if Nancy would help with the map, or with the hike and walk part of the book, because I was like, that's gonna kill me. There's no, I just knew. I was like, I can't. You have to like, we didn't even know what it was gonna take, because it took like hand drawing maps, obviously like creating the routes, bringing in all these amazing like Easter eggs to find along the way, then leading all these folks and sharing, doing all the testing with folks, editing it, going back again. I mean, Nancy has done these routes many times. Anyway, I asked Nancy and she said yes. So thankfully, that was just, I was like, I don't think I could do it without her. And that was completely true. I was right about that. But she ended up being so much more than rocking the walk and hike section of the book. She has just been this amazing thought partner, and she, and keeping me like sane, and when you become obsessed with something, not a lot of people want to tolerate that information level, right? Like even my husband, I think, probably had moments where he's like, okay, I like the park, but Nancy was there for me in my moments of extreme geeking out, and she was so supportive of that. And she also would geek out, and then like that excitement, I think also that shared love, and like, oh my god, did you know this? Oh my god, I just found this. Oh my god, like we would find like this little reference or this photo or this thing, like we're just like, and we would both be that excited about it. And so that just energized the whole project in a way that was such a gift, because I needed that energy, because this was a lot. The park is a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. So many things, so much history, so many activities, and I really did want to try to know everything if possible. I just learned about geocaching from someone. I'm like, geocaching is not in the book, but as best I could, so I could bring the best to all of you. So just really, really grateful for Nancy. Our friendship has not only grown, but it's withstood some tense moments of like, do we include this in the book or not? We've had strong opinions, but at certain moments, but I feel like we were just meant to do this together, and I'm just so grateful for Nancy. So I just need to have everyone clap for Nancy. It was meant to be, which is kind of the story of like, what does Golden Gate Park mean to me? And as you sit here, what does it mean to you? What would your life be in San Francisco without Golden Gate Park? And for me, it would be so dramatically different. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't live in San Francisco. Like, that's the difference, right? And I keep looking at my husband, because we moved to the neighborhood almost 20 years ago after living in DuBose Triangle, which is perfectly lovely. But we moved here, and everything changed for me and how I felt about San Francisco, because it was really different. I'm from Minnesota. I was like, I don't know about this place. This is really different. And then we moved by the park, and suddenly our lives were happening in the park in all these really fun ways. And whether it was like barbecues with friends, or just, you know, walking, again, like the best thing to do in the park, just walking around. And then having kids, and Helena, the purple-haired child over there, glaring at me, she was a pretty fussy baby, okay? And the one thing you could do is, like, you just get outside and you start walking to the park, and, like, she was happy. And that was when I just started logging a lot of miles in the park, pushing the stroller or having her in the little thing. And I was like, wow, there's just so much to this park. Even, like, again, like, there's the superficial, there's the beauty, there's the things we've all, like, seen and walked by a million times. But I was like, but I think there's more. And then I was kind of starting to make this mental thing, and I don't know what was happening up there, but something was happening up there. And I was like, there's not a children's book about Golden Gate Park. I wonder if I could think of something for every letter of the alphabet that's really unique about the park. Because that's how I feel. I'm like, this is not just a park. This isn't like trees and benches and whatever. This is Golden Gate Park, and there's just so much to it. And so that was where the obsession really began, was seeing if I could do that. And so then I went to the John McLaren tree lighting right before Mayor Ed Lee died. And he spoke at it, and he was like, and in 2020, Golden Gate Park will turn 150. And I was like, what? Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I was like, I have to write this book. I have to write this book. There has to be a book for Golden Gate Park for its 150th. And so somehow that all happened. And that was when I did really start the deep dive of Golden Gate Park. And then again, there's like the layers and layers of history and beauty and ecology. And it just goes on and on. So that was where that started. And then there was the opportunity to write this book. And again, I was like, I don't know. Nancy was one criteria. Another was friends who have a place in Glen Ellen that they would let me go to so I could get some things done. And then I also had a rule of, like, only go down some rabbit holes, not all the rabbit holes. Because again, if you're into history, and I think a lot of people here are, oh my gosh, there's so many rabbit holes, and I had to really put a check on myself. Or I was like, I'm gonna do all the things. I'm gonna play pétanque. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna truly do everything in the park. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get this book done, and then I will play pétanque. I want to play pétanque soon. I'm very excited about pétanque. They're really nice. They shared some interesting facts for the book, but I have not ever played pétanque. So pétanque is one of the bocce-related sports in the park. It's over by the dog training thing. And yes, they're delightful people.
You can't really get too close to them without them putting a ball in your hand and making you play.
Yes, so this might be your new social life if you're interested. Nancy, what does Golden Gate Park mean to you?
Oh my God.
Because it means everything to me. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to pass it to you.
I was trying to sum it up. Of course, I remember when I lived, before I lived right by the Panhandle, before then, I knew I lived exactly a 17-minute bike ride from the Panhandle. Because I was like, well, it's not that far, it's 17 minutes. Because I rode through the park at least once a week since 1989. I've lived here since the earthquake. But I think one of the things that, the depth of meaning that Golden Gate Park has, it certainly increased for me. And I came out of this whole experience feeling like no matter what your energy level or ability is, no matter whether you are in need of more community or if you need to have complete solitude, there's a place for you in Golden Gate Park. And I feel like I've had over the years people say to me, oh, I really would like to get involved with some group in the park, and we've listed them. We did, but since we wrote the book, another thing we missed was apparently there's a lot of cosplay that happens in the park, and so sorry, we missed that group. But there are all and there's people who if you like to play disc golf, it happens, and you work all day. Apparently, they play at night in the dark. So there is something for you. And what I love also is there's always a bench in a secluded place where you can sit and you don't see any other people. And I just don't know how that's possible in this, one of the densest places west of the Mississippi. It's so special. And and I think after you've sat in the same spot maybe 3 times, you start to feel a little bit of a sense of ownership. And I know Marta and I certainly have felt like we own the park. And we were so upset that nobody told us that they're going to be renovating the boat club. Like,
The boathouse.
The boathouse.
Like,
they should be running that by us first. You know, I'm like, what?
I need
Nobody
details.
told me.
What are they even planning?
No.
It's upsetting.
So I don't. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I could go on and on.
I know, and I bet all of you in the room could go on and on too, or you probably wouldn't be here. Or if you've never been to the park, I hope this really encourages you to go get in there. So we're gonna do a little conversation between Nancy and I for a little bit, and then we're gonna mix it up with some fun with you all. But Nancy, the first question is yours.
Oh,
For me.
Marta. What? Well, this is like we're getting this from the source here. What are 1 or 2 of your favorite things to do in the park? To tell people that they might not know that you know.
So I felt like there's so many things I have to write a book about it, but I will tell you some of my favorite fun things. And I'm like, oh, you think you know the park? Do you know this? Do you know about Bill's Burger Dog? Who's been to the golf course ever? Ever? Okay, pretty good. Have you been recently in the last few years? Okay, it's gorgeous. They totally redid it. It has this beautiful patio, and there's this, like, they have like a grill and cheap beer and nice pastries, and on a sunny day you can see, you're like seeing the ocean, and they sell Bill's Burger Dogs, which are very rare and special apparently, and it's like a hamburger shaped like a hot dog bun. Anyway, people love them, and they're only available 3 places in the whole world, including Golden Gate Park. So that's just one of the specials. Like, this was not on my radar until this book. So that's one. Oh my gosh, where to even go with this question? So many. I will just share that one of my favorite parts of the park is the A's Memorial Grove. Raise your hand if you also love the A's Memorial Grove. And I think a lot of people just walk by. I think they don't, because it's sunken, they just don't even know to go down there. And then maybe they think they shouldn't because it's a memorial. But I'm always like, you got to get in there. It's amazing. But my favorite part of it is actually if you keep walking west and then you start following that creek. Do you know the creek? Raise your hand if you know the creek, the beautiful creek that goes up to the waterfall. And then you keep going and you enter that Coast Oak Woodland Forest that's above and behind that, where the monastery stones are and where Monarch the grizzly bear lived. I got really into both of those topics with the children's book, and I feel like most people, again, you guys are a very sophisticated audience, but most people in San Francisco don't know that there was a grizzly bear living in Golden Gate Park for 20 years. And it was the last wild grizzly bear in California. And William Randolph Hearst had paid a bunch of money for some people to go track it down. It took them a long time, and they were in the mountains of Southern California, and they ultimately did it. And they brought Monarch here to basically sell newspapers. Monarch wasn't actually going to sell the newspapers, but Monarch, being in the newspaper, was going to sell newspapers. And then I just learned about then Monarch was put in Woodward's Garden, which was this kind of like crazy downtown San Francisco, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like an amusement park meets a million other crazy Victorian things. But Monarch was there for a while and then ended up in Golden Gate Park for a long time, but had a mate and had 2 cubs. And I just love to think that, like, but it was also this very sad story, but it's also amazing that Monarch was living there. And I like to think of Monarch's spirit in that space, which, Nancy, tell them the fun thing. So then there's these monastery stones, also related to William Randolph Hearst, who was going to build another castle in Northern California. And so he had all this monastery in Spain from the 1300s, all of the stones shipped in 7 ships or 6 or 7 ships all the way to San Francisco. And then he ran out of money. Things
Read all about it in the book.
Yes, but the stones are now scattered all over, but there's a bunch of them in that area. So it's this combination of like Monarch the grizzly bear and the monastery stones. And then, one more fun thing about that area.
Oh yeah, that is a fun place. Maybe I'll use that in my. Apparently, the gardeners keep using the monastery stones to in the AIDS Memorial, and in other gardens you'll see these monastery stones. And once you read the book and you do the walk, you'll become an expert in the monastery stones, and you'll become as obsessed as Marta and I are. But apparently, the gardeners were kind of cleaning up the woods and. It turns out they discovered it was a worship place for the Druids, and the Druids, the way they were not just honoring the old stones, but the spirit of Monarch the Bear, and they find that a really holy spot, that little area that you're describing.
Yeah, and there's kind of this circle.
And so they had the gardeners actually the gardeners had rearranged the stones, and they had to go back and put them back for the Druids, which I love.
I know.
That they did that.
You never know what you're going to see. Cosplay, Druids. Yeah. You never know what you're going to see in the park. We walked on a path, and those, okay, now a new trees. I'm so into trees. I think the story of Golden Gate Park is a story of trees. More on that later, maybe. But those crazy trees that have like the really curvy branches, right? And they're very low to the ground. And these are Australian tea trees that John McLaren planted long ago, in part to stabilize the dunes, but they have succeeded and they're still here and they're super old. But we were on this path, and I think you were with me. Anyway, there was a whole family of like 20 people dressed as trolls, all hiding up in those trees for their holiday card photo. And I was like, this is a family I want to be in. This is amazing. So just things you see, but you just never know what you're going to see. What are one or two of your favorite things you want people to know that you think they don't know? When people are like, I know the park, and you're like, do you?
Well, I don't know, but not everybody knows about my favorite sculpture in the sculpture garden. So the sculpture garden next to the De Young is free and open to the public during museum hours, and you can go in there anytime. So I do, and it took me years to discover that there's a sculpture way in the back. There's a little sign that says 3 gems, and you have to follow the little path, and you end up in the James Turrell skyscape sculpture. Are there any people who have been there? Oh, only about a third of you. So
you have an assignment from Nancy.
Yeah, so you have to go there. Pardon?
I've sung inside.
Yes, that's the next thing. Not only do you go there, but you have to sing in there. And I swear, pretty much every time I've gone there with my husband, we've sat there and other people come in and we have spontaneously been singing. And children will walk in and start, because the sound is incredible. So that's one of my favorite things to do with tourists.
Right by there, I have to say, is one of the most shocking things I learned in this book, which is that there's a sculpture basically right in that same area that is of a woman's torso with a live beehive on it, but it's only uncovered on certain days of the week, and it has to be nice out. So basically, it's never uncovered. But there was one day that I was over there, like doing research for the book, and there were a bunch of beekeepers because they were like working on the hive, and I was just like, what is this? It's so nuts. And I'm like, how many hours is this thing even like seen by the public in a year? And how many people even pass by during those 3 hours? I don't know. But anyway, if you're ever over there, it's sort of like back when Claude, rest in peace, would move. You were like, oh my gosh, Claude moved. And you're like so pumped. So same feeling about the beehive situation. So keep an eye. Anything else you want to throw in there?
No, I think I'm pretty good. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. What?
Oh, I've got a question for you then. Okay. Nancy created these 11 walks and hikes in the park. Which one are you most excited for people to do?
I have to say it's a no-brainer. Coyote Valley. And some of you helped me scout out Coyote Valley. It's the part of the park I knew the least. And, converts are the greatest zealots. And so it was the part where I just discovered so much. It's the triangle made between Metzen Lake, Mallard Lake, and Elk Glen Lake. I now know all the lakes of Golden Gate Park, and you will too. And it's also where you are likely to see coyotes. And I was asking a gardener, what do you call this area? And the gardener said, oh, we just call it Coyote Valley. Oh, of course, it all comes together. But it's a part of the park you can go to, and you won't see very many people, and you feel like you're on an old California dirt road in the foothills. And if it feels that old, it's because it is. It's actually part of a very early bike route to the beach. And it's still there. I love that you can still. So anyway, Coyote Valley. You look it up in the book.
By the way, we're working on coining some things, because we have all this power now because of this book. So Coyote Valley is one of the things we're like, it's going to be a thing now. We've also named something. Well, Nancy named this, and I was like totally on board. Lost Golden Gate Park. You should tell them what Lost Golden Gate Park. For people who think they know the park. I know Drew knows it because he's a big runner and he's been to every corner, but I would say most people probably don't know this area. So tell us what is that?
Lost Golden Gate Park is the big triangle of parkland that was cut off by Crossover Drive and Park Presidio bypass when Highway 1 connected up to the Golden Gate Bridge in the 40s. And it's between 14th Avenue and Park Presidio and 25th Avenue, and it's really hard to get to from the rest of the park. There's just you can only get there one little entrance on either end. And so it's a little bit like going back into 1940. Actually late 30s, because it was cut off. And in the process of cutting it off, they also cut off the water supply to that part of the park. So they can't water the plants. And it's actually still a really nice part of the park. And the people I know who live over there, they know it. And some of the runners have discovered it. And then it's also part of the Pilot Bike Trail program. There is this path called the Pilot Trail. I thought it was named after someone named Pilot. It has been a pilot program for a very, very long time, and it is still called the pilot program. But I decided that part of the park needed a name, and so I've called it Lost Golden Gate Park. And I really hope that 10 years from now, someone will tell me about Lost Golden Gate Park, and you heard it here first.
It's on the map in the book, so it's on real. The map. It's official.
Let's see. Oh, Marta. Okay.
This is the steamy part of the show now. Get ready for it.
Marta, I know you're married, but tell me a little bit about your obsession with John McLaren.
John McLaren. John McLaren. We are so lucky. Okay, we're really lucky because of two men who, giving props to the men. There's lots of ladies who get some props in this book too. Just want to point that out. But William Hammond Hall was the person who surveyed and laid out the park. And he was 24 years old at the time. I think he was the lowest bidder, but he turned out to be really, really smart. And he not only laid out a park that worked with the contours of the land, which really helped in terms of making the park interesting and wind blocks and, having valleys and all the things that give it character. But he accomplished a lot in a short amount of time. He was the one, and he's some call him the unsung hero of Golden Gate Park's history, who really cracked the code of how do you get these sand dunes turned into soil that could grow sizable trees, because the pressure was on. People were like, if you're for the park to succeed, it has to have many, many, many large trees. And he did it. He figured out this combination of all these the lupine and so he could get the soil binding together, and then started planting trees that would grow very fast, including eucalyptus and the Monterey cypresses, and then this created wind blocks for all these other things to start growing. But he deserves a lot of props, because it really was him who got the ball rolling. And by the time McLaren came on the scene, already the very eastern end of the park the proof of concept was already there. And if you look at photos of Golden Gate Park from the late 1800s, it is astonishing how large and expansive the tree canopy was. And I was like, holy smokes. It was really amazing. I know I'm going to talk about John, but I have to give William, you can't talk about John without William. Because I think of like William Hammond Hall, he created the canvas. And then John McLaren came in and was the artist. Because John McLaren was, he was a master gardener. He'd been transforming all these wealthy people's estates in the South Bay and the East Bay, and he just had the vision to, again, not just make a park, but make a wild retreat from the city. You know, he just had his design thinking was not at all the European way that really had informed, again, what people wanted or thought they wanted in a park. That was not John McLaren. He was like, nature never works in a straight line, was one of his quotes. And so the fact that he was able to just take charge and then was on the job for 52 years, what? Like, he figured out how to get stuff done, and then he was able to do so much. And he wasn't just creating the dells and the planting incredible, diversity of tree species. And he designed basically all the lakes. He designed Huntington Falls, and then he would find the people to like pay for the stuff to get it done really fast. And so when I think of like the feel of the park and the fact that you can feel like you're really immersed in nature, and just when you look out sometimes and you see the canopy and how many different trees are represented in just one view of the park, I'm like, bless your heart, John McLaren, because he was obsessed with trees and he was a genius, and he held it down, man. He had to fight a lot of fights during those 52 years. A lot of people wanted to overdevelop the park. They wanted to change the park. He didn't win all of those fights, but he won a lot of them. And I think if we hadn't had that same person with such a clear vision, and clearly some serious political gifts to be able to hold it down for that long, I think we would have a very different park today. So I just often, pay tribute in my heart to John McLaren for what he left us, because again, at that point, think of how much time had passed. And so it was really established in the public's mind what the park was meant to be. And so then think of all of the things were attached to you and like, that can't change, like he because he was on the job for so long, it really got to lock that in a way that I just think we benefit so much from today, even though he's been gone since 1942. So,
and we got to go to the library and handle original John McLaren documents, like his
spectacles,
his spectacles, his journals. They were just like, hoed this field or whatever,
there were some very boring entries where there were 3 days of just like dug holes.
But there was poetry too. He wrote down every poem, like all the poems that he loved, and he even seemed to be figuring out some word choice for his own poems.
He was an artist. He was a poet. He was pretty amazing. So, so I do love John McLaren, and he's still with us in the park. Okay.
Covered about all.
I know. I think so it might be time for some crowdsourcing of park favorites. So this is gonna be fun, everybody. This is your chance to give your opinions of favorite things. Or not favorite things.
Oh, look at this.
All right. So we want to hear from all of you. You're going to be the experts now. So we're going to start with best place for a good cry. Raise your hand if you have a really good place for a good cry you'd like to share.
Redwood Forest.
Redwood Forest, which one?
In a botanical garden.
Oh, yes, okay. Redwoods in Botanical Garden. I love that spot. It's so pretty back there. And I actually feel like we just have so many redwood. We've got 5 redwood forests in Golden Gate Park. The only, not a native ecosystem actually in the park. So, but they're doing well. Other good places for crying. Yes.
Similar to the
first one, but the World War I memorial by the Rose Garden.
Oh yeah, Heroes Grove. Yeah, Heroes Grove. I think it's because like those soft, like it absorbs your sadness and your crying sounds.
Yeah.
You know, the way the path has all the things on it.
I see Maria.
In the tunnels by the Conservatory of Flowers, in case you want to be heard.
Ooh.
In the tunnels, in case you want to be heard.
If you really want to get the weepy sounds going,
Yeah.
really, really have a pity party.
It's a good place for children to cry.
Okay, let's go to most romantic spot. I think this is a fun one. Got a lot of couples here tonight.
Oh, there's one.
Rebecca. Lily Pond. Lily Pond.
Shakespeare Garden.
Ooh,
Shakespeare Garden for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I have a friend who got married there.
Yeah.
Other romantic spots?
Kind of like the top of the DeYoung Tower.
Pagoda.
Ooh, top of the DeYoung Tower. The Hammond Observatory.
Did I
Yes,
hear
like
pagoda?
Yes.
That's
I think the pagoda is really romantic. I almost feel like I've seen people propose there, but I might just be making that up. It just looks
there's
good.
another one.
More romantic spots. Ruth.
And also Strawberry Hill, that amazing view.
Yes, I love the top of Strawberry Hill. One of the things I also tell people is a lot of folks don't know the little path that's just right next to Huntington Falls that you can climb. And then it's got great views as you get higher. And then at the top, hummingbirds are often bathing, which is amazing. Like consistently. So you can actually like do that as a thing. Okay. Other romantic spots?
The Great Lawn at the Botanical Gardens.
Great
Great
lawn at the
lawn,
Botanical
yeah.
Gardens. I think, yeah, that's a romantic picnicky kind of spot. It's also a great place to go into labor. Not that I know anything about that. I have another friend who also went to labor there. Don't know what's up with that. Best tree. You know, there's so many, and that is one of the things in the book that I got way into was, again, like how the story of getting trees to grow in Golden Gate Park was the big challenge and mission accomplished, but just, again, like the diversity of trees is just incredible.
Oh, how do you pick one? Oh, that's
I would say that it's not one best tree, but there are several trees. Some near the bandstand area, another that's over by the stairs that you go up to go to the to I guess Blue Heron Lake are the fairy doors that are
Oh, the fairy doors, yes.
Some of
Big
them.
fan of
Any tree with a
those. A
fairy
tree with a
door.
fairy door.
Any
Okay, best
any
tree.
with a
Trees with
door is
fairy
good,
doors, yeah.
How long have the fairy doors been there?
The fairy doors have been, some of them have been there about, well, the original, the one that kind of started off is no longer there on that big log behind the Japanese tea garden. And I
There's
have
one there's a-
visions of
there's
putting
a
one
fairy-
back in there.
There's a fairy behind the Japanese tea garden, that area there. You know, here.
I know, but it's gone.
What else?
I know, it's not
When?
there. It's within the last couple of years, it's,
When was the last time you-
I'm telling you,
Oh,
I've got
How long
senses.
ago?
those fairies keep moving around.
But, and there's one of the trees in the music concourse does not exist anymore that had a fairy door in it. That one was suffering. But there is still one in the music concourse.
When did they start?
They started about
Yeah, there is a.
15, 20 years ago in the one that was behind the Japanese tea garden.
Did you have a treat?
Maybe it's just like maybe too obvious, but like in at Blue Heron Lake, the one where the herons go to roost, and now that that's gotten a little damaged, they found a second one that's closer to the house.
yeah.
Those are just magical.
So there's a meadow behind the Academy of Sciences. Like from the far side, if you're looking from the front, you go to the other side, it's like a little path goes around the side. There's a redwood tree. I could point it out. It's like halfway, if you're standing across the street, it's like halfway from left to right. There's this redwood tree that stands straight up. When I was a kid, I've been to the top of that tree many times.
Ooh, a redwood tree that Anthony climbed to the top of as a kid.
That's a good one.
That's cool.
The one right when you go into the Arboretum?
Yes, the tree, the Monterey cypress on the lawn of
And then also,
which Jane Goodall has touched. So, yeah.
also, best kept secret is everybody's into plums and cherries, but the mallow trees by the smell garden that are peaking right now. It's kind of a purple flower. There's about 3 or 4 of them with daffodils at the bottom.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's such a pretty spot. Yeah, what kind of trees are
I
those?
think they're malice. They call them. They're
Malice.
like crabapple.
Crabapple trees. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That is a really, really pretty spot with the daffodils all underneath them, right on the way to the fragrance garden. Other favorite trees, Nancy?
My current favorite is the one that fell over.
Yeah, rest in peace tree.
But it's still in the lake.
Oh,
Yes.
the one in Medicine Lake.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's my go-to. Anyway.
Medicine Lake fallen tree.
Yeah.
I like that Nancy has a current favorite tree.
What are the Uncle John trees?
I mean, yeah, we got the Uncle John's tree, which is the Monterey cypress right in front of McLaren Lodge, which there's a backup tree they planted a while back because they are nervous. Because that tree is probably from this is probably William Hammond Hall's doing, because all those giant trees in the Panhandle and that first part of the park were from the very, very earliest years. So that one's super old.
The one with the Christmas lights?
The one with the Christmas lights. So John McLaren started that tradition during the Depression and then kept it up. And he was a softie. He really liked kids. And I do think, I like to think of him, he lived in that house for 52 years, like looking out at that tree and it growing over time. It's pretty sweet. So, yeah.
A tree that always brings me joy is when you're biking uphill from the beach. Right, so right after you go under the little bridge, it used to be a bush and now it's turned into a tree and it's the top of the hill.
Ah, tree reward at the top of the
right
hill.
across from Rainbow Falls.
Yes.
And it means you've done all your climbing home from the beach.
You're at the top of the hill. We call it like One Tree Hill. Or something.
One Tree Hill. I like it. All right.
Does it say the Liberty Tree?
The Liberty Tree. Yes, I'm totally into that tree. It's my current favorite. The Liberty Tree is the one that's in front of the Conservatory of Flowers, but kind of where the Annie's hot dog often is. And it's a sequoia. And if you go down there, it's got a plaque and such, but it is very impressive. And yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, and they when they planted it, it was for the midwinter festival, and they brought soil samples from different American Revolutionary War battlefields to plant at the base of the tree.
That is not in the book, guys. I'm so embarrassed right now. Okay, any other trees? Last tree.
Not a real tree, a piece of art that's no longer there, but right as you go into the JFK concourse, there was an art piece that was a tree with a bunch of cute lights.
Oh, yeah. Entwined.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
and it's
I know. It has a different home.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm looking at the time, and I don't think I can get any more of your interesting thoughts on this. I'm sorry about that, because we have some fun things to give away. So, since people like to get fun things, I'm going to actually adjust this. Okay, so we've got a little bit of trivia. This is how we're going to send you off potentially with some fun little things. And wait, we didn't even do the Q&A. Are you guys okay with that? Car says thumbs up. Okay. I don't know what happened. I know exactly what happens. We got carried away with our love for the park. It happens all the time. Okay, so we have some fun little prizes. The first prize I'm going to tell you guys about. Did you notice this amazing sweatshirt I'm wearing? Oh my gosh, Nancy's wearing this really cool t-shirt. So there's a great little shop called Dunker May that's down Irving Street, and their owner Jen was so excited about the book that she started a little line in celebration of the book of Golden Gate Park themed things. So you can get them on their website, or you can get them in the store, which has very limited hours. So I recommend the website. But she gave us some stickers to give away, and on the back is a 15% off coupon. But I'm going to whisper the coupon to you right now. Secret GGP. Okay, so everyone can have the code, and I'll give it to you later in case you don't get a sticker. And I also, I see some kids back here. There's some kids in the back. So I do also have some little bison erasers. The name of the shop is Donker May, DANKERMAE, and it's I think about 17th and Irving, maybe
on the north side of the street.
Yeah, on that side. Yeah. Secret GGP. Okay, so you want to ask the first trivia question?
Oh, no, you go ahead. I'm not.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to skip question 2. I'm jumping to question 3. Okay. The Panhandle is officially part of Golden Gate Park. I didn't know that. Did you all know that? Did you always know that? Because I didn't know that. It was part of the legislation creating the park. So was the original name of the Panhandle A, the Grand Carriageway, B, the Avenue, or C, Ye Olde Frying Panhandle? Raise your hand if you have the answer.
It has to be C.
Did I hear it?
It has to be C.
The Grand Carriageway?
No.
C, you think it's Ye Olde Frying Panhandle?
I'll go with B.
Going with B, the Avenue. It was called the Avenue.
Thank you.
All right. Which animal listed here has not ever lived in Golden Gate Park? A, saber-toothed cat. B, zebra. C, grizzly bear. D, elephant.
Zebra.
Saber-toothed cat.
It's a trick question, guys. They've all lived in Golden Gate Park if you go back through prehistoric time. But yes, zebras used to... The early years in the park, too, is very much the zoo before there was a zoo. So there were all kinds of crazy things. Zebras, elephants, both you could do cart rides on at the playground. Okay. This audience is very, very... I'm skipping that question. You're too smart for it. Okay. What nickname did the park's 2 windmills used to have? What nickname did the park's 2 windmills used to have?
It's not multiple choice.
No, you just gotta make a guess.
Mud and Jeff.
Mud and Jeff. Nope. It relates to a sports team. I'll just give you a little hint.
40 and Niner.
40 and Niner. No.
Red and gold.
Yes, they were called the San Francisco Giants. I mean, there was no Salesforce Tower yet. They were pretty tall for the time. Which windmill was built first, Murphy or Dutch?
Murphy.
Who said Dutch first? Who said Dutch? Okay, Roan got it. We'll pass this back to Roan. So both those windmills were built to irrigate the park, and I learned something. Oh no, I'm gonna keep that question. Okay, this is funny to me. The Dutch windmill, it was actually first called the North Windmill, by the way. It became known as the Dutch in the 60s when they built the Queen Wilhelmina Garden and such. But King's Day, a Dutch holiday, is celebrated in the park in April every year. But they celebrated at the Murphy Windmill. So weird. But that is the one day of the year that the Murphy Windmill spins its sails. And I want to go this year. It's on April 25th. They're starting to advertise this. You've been? Okay. It looks really fun. Everybody wears orange and then they bike around the park together. And anyway, and they like have waffles. I don't know. So mark your calendar for April 25th. I'm going to be there.
They used to do it at the correct windmill.
They did do it at the correct
They
windmill?
did it at the correct windmill. They stopped doing it maybe like 10 years ago. They moved it over to the Murphy windmill for reasons. Probably crowd control is easier. It's easier to close the streets.
Yeah, they kept smushing the tulips or something, so they got switched. Okay.
No, they did do it there.
Which windmill's taller, the Dutch or the Murphy? Murphy. All right, pass this back to our Murphy. It's actually 20 feet taller. Tell us, Nancy, about how you can see it spinning it back in the day.
Oh, you can actually witness it now by Googling, by the power of Google and YouTube. There's a wonderful little snippet of a Charlie Chaplin film called A Jitney Elopement, and it takes place on the Great Highway, and you can see the windmill going around. It's awesome. You have to it's available easily online.
It's very fun.
A Jitney Elopement with Charlie Chaplin. It's so fun to see the Great Highway unpaved. And
that was the second movie shot in the park, but nobody knows what the name of the first one was. So, speaking of irrigation, the equivalent of how many inches of rain per year are watered on the park to make it a green oasis? 6, 11, or 15?
It seems like
15.
I heard Karen say 15.
No, that wasn't me.
It wasn't you, somebody said 15.
Same as Seattle rainfall. Isn't that kind of amazing? And you're like, holy smokes, that's so by the end of this year, all of the park will be watered up with recycled reverse osmosis water, which is interesting. So Car's giving me the look. Nope, not giving me the look. Looking innocent, so innocent. We have something fun, but I have one more thing. I'm going to see if anybody knew this. This tortured me for a long time in my research. If you look at the legislation for Golden Gate Park, including the avenue, it was 1,014 acres. But today, it's how many acres? How many acres in the park today, people? Look on the back of the book.
1,017.
1,017.
I already got
Oh, she already got a sticker.
What they add? What to do?
Back there, gets a sticker.
So you're like, where's those 3 acres from? And it doesn't say it anywhere. But this relates to John McLaren, of course. When they built Kezar Stadium, that was kind of placed kind of on the edge, but included some parkland. And so John McLaren, he was not pleased about this, by the way. So he had them design it in a way it's like tilted at kind of a funny angle, and that was to minimize the amount of park space it took. And then they also added 3 acres, Kezar Triangle, which we used to live right next to at that time. So that's the 1,017 acres. Last question. What sweet, and this is, everyone's going to win on this one. What sweet treat was invented in Golden Gate Park?
It's it.
It's not It's It. Fortune cookies. All right. So this is like an only in America story that Makoto Hajiwara, who oversaw and cared and made the Japanese tea garden so incredible for so long and was a good friend of John McLaren's. He started serving a Japanese fortune cookie in the tea house, and then people were liking them, and then he started working with Ben what was the name of the candy shop? Ben Kyoto. And so they started making them sweet, and then people really liked them. And so it just like caught on. Everybody's loving these fortune cookies that are sweet, and then somehow they're served at Chinese restaurants. It doesn't make any sense, but this is America. It doesn't make sense. So we're so excited to have you had come tonight to this. So we brought you some fortune cookies. And they are from
Chinatown. The Fortune Cookie Factory. Of course they're made in Chinatown.
And they're right here. So we're going to get these passing out to folks so you can have a fortune cookie. And then we're going to close in a second. But I have a few things to tell you.
We'll just let you start passing those along.
I hope your fortune brings you good things. Your great adventures in the park. I hope it's something perfect for the park. There's a few ways to stay in the loop with what we're up to, because obviously we have so much more we want to tell you, and this went so fast, and we're just bursting with knowledge and excitement. We're having a bunch more events for the book, and they will all be different in different ways. And some of them, like I'm going to do a Monastery Stones one and Botanical Garden on the 15th, 2 different offerings of that, where we're just going to totally get into the Monastery Stones and probably talk about John McLaren a little bit. So that's going to be fun, but we have other events. On Sunday is a really super fun, big event that I encourage you to come to outside the conservatory at 1. And we will be on having a little panel with Susan Frankel, who's been writing this wonderful Substack about the park that you should sign up for, called 1,017 Acres. And we're having other special guests to come share favorite secrets about the park. And so this is going to be a major park love fest at such a special spot. I'm pretty excited about that. That's this Sunday at 1 o'clock. And if you want to grab a flyer period, you can. So if you go to secretgoldengatepark.com, you can see all the events coming up. Nancy's doing a really cool one of that area, the lost Golden Gate Park that she told you about. Is going to be an exploration of that whole part of the park. So that is fun. If you go to secretgoldengatepark.com, you can also sign up for a newsletter that I will send out. I have no idea when, but with cool stuff about the park in it. And then I also started this Instagram that I do. If you are on Instagram, take out your phone right now and please follow, because I just need to get some more followers, guys, and I'm gonna put some really cool stuff on there. Jenny's following it. She knows there's cool stuff. It's Secret Golden Gate Park is the name of it. But again, I cannot thank you enough for so many people pre-ordering the book and how much it means to us, to this bookstore, to the momentum for the book. It's a huge gratitude. I can't even. They're just really, really, really appreciate it. The only way like a book gets out in the world in the year 2026 is just hustling and hustling and having wonderful humans who are ambassadors for your book and actually buy it. So Car told me there's only 35 books. There was going to be another shipment, but there's only 35 books available left in this store tonight. And I was like, well, maybe all these people will just buy the rest of them. That would be awesome. And then you get to have the exclusive content, which is my perfect day in the park, which is like all the things I would do on a perfect day. And then Nancy has her super cool
Treasures of the Concourse.
Treasures of the Concourse. It's like a treasure map and things you maybe haven't seen or found before. So yeah, if you can buy more books, we like that, and we will sign them, and we will give you things, and we'll even maybe give you some stickers up here too. And thank you for being part of a night we will never forget. That means so much to us, and it's you guys are the best.
Can we give one more hand for Marta Lindsey and Nancy Botkin? That was the perfect ending that I cannot improve on, so I will be brief. This was so fun. Thank you to you both for letting us be a part of your book's journey. We also got to do an event with Marta for her children's book a couple years ago in the Botanical Garden, and now here you are again, friend of the store. Very happy to have you back. And Nancy made these really beautiful hand-bound zines that are available for you.
My first book, it's free.
It's free. It's there at the back desk. We have copies available for purchase of Discovering Golden Gate Park at the front register. You can find them there. Our authors will be signing them back here where they are now. If you could make an orderly line about like here, like right there, that would be perfect, just to give them a little room and give me a second to clear the stuff out, and it'll be easier for everybody. If you have any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, let's give our authors a hand. Thank you so much.